I'm outside the federal court for the Southern District of New York, where we've just concluded the first full day of the trial of Sean Combs, the well-known rapper, producer, and music executive. He is accused of sex trafficking and racketeering and criminality spanning 20 years. Today, we've heard the opening statements from both the prosecution and the defense, as well as testimony from the first couple of prosecution witnesses. Essentially, the prosecution case is that Sean Combs used his immense wealth, power, and privilege to coerce women into abusive sexual encounters with male escorts that he would then film and masturbate to.
Kids have like an hour left because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to.
Essentially, the accusation is that Sean Combs would bring women into these situations, he would feed them drugs, he would film them having these sexual encounters, and then he would use those tapes to blackmail the women into staying with him and staying silent about what had happened. The prosecution told us that their case would be largely based on evidence from two women, one of whom, Cassie, is Cassandra Ventura, his ex-girlfriend of 11 years. The other woman, known as Jane, Sean Combs met in 2020 and kept having encounters with until less than a year ago.
The evidence is very damaging and could lead to convictions that would result in substantial prison time.
The defense case is essentially that these encounters were consensual. They were part of a number of relationships that Sean Combs had with women over the years that were at times toxic, that were complicated, that may not subscribe to the characteristics of a relationship that you and I might, but that nonetheless these women were adults, were strong, were capable, and were making their own choices. The defense has conceded that Sean Combs was an abusive man, that he engaged in domestic violence, that he could get angry and fly into jealous rages. But what the defense argues is that none of this amounts to what he's actually been charged with, which is racketeering and sex trafficking. His defense lawyer said, who delivered the opening statement today, said that the jury would hear things that will make them think that Sean Combs is a jerk, that he is mean, that he's not a very good boyfriend, and that all of those things might be fair enough, but that did not necessarily mean that he was guilty of what the government had charged him with. In the afternoon, we heard evidence from the first two witnesses called by the prosecution. The first man was a security guard who worked at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016, which is when, in March of that year, security footage captured Sean Combs abusing his girlfriend Cassandra Ventura in a hallway, in a lobby on the 6th floor of that hotel. Sean Combs has essentially admitted to what he described as inexcusable behaviour in this video, but only after it was aired on CNN last year.
I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
The security guard told the court how in the immediate aftermath of that incident, Sean Combs had apparently offered him a stack of cash in exchange for staying silent about what had happened. The security guard says he did not accept that wad of cash, that he instead went downstairs of the hotel and tried to talk to Cassandra Ventura, but she didn't want to contact the police at that stage, and she left the hotel in a black SUV. The second witness we heard from, Daniel Phillip, worked as in a male review from about 2011-2012 onwards, around about the same time as he began having sexual encounters with Cassandra Ventura for money. What you can see is the beginnings of a defense case that will basically say, look, these women who have now accused Diddy of these crimes at the time enjoyed it, participated in it voluntarily, and were, making their own choices as they went along. Tomorrow, which is Tuesday in the United States, we're expecting to hear from Cassie Ventura herself. There was some thought that she might take the stand this afternoon, but questioning of the first two witnesses went a little bit longer than expected. So she is now likely to take the stage tomorrow, and that will be a much anticipated appearance. She's really the star prosecution witness and the central witness to the prosecution case. So all eyes will be on Cassandra Ventura as she takes the stand. I have to say, some of Daniel Phillips' testimony, in particular the cross-examination by Sean Combs' lawyer, it was at times very graphic and quite awkward in terms of really getting into the nitty-gritty of him arriving at this hotel room, the exchange of money from Cassie Ventura, in what order they then started to take their clothes off, apply body oil, and have sex with each other. And Sean Combs, 3 of his daughters were present in the courtroom. They at times walked out of the courtroom during this testimony. His mother was in the courtroom. So you can imagine it's very, very awkward and difficult stuff to be raked through at a public trial, especially one as public as this.